Chaos 2022 Collage paper production. It's absolutely frightening. There's stuff everywhere. The tidiness does not last long. I'll be able to get there. This is a tiny room. Hello and good morning. It is a lovely rainy day and the perfect day to get a little cozy, be inside and make some collage papers. As you can see, I am ready for fall. On the red, bringing on the red. Can't see anything. Okay. So, I am going to show you how I make my collage papers. Now, some people use a jelly plate and they do all different kinds of colorful backgrounds and everything, but what I want to have transparent collage papers, because for what I use it for is my mixed media paintings, and I want to see everything that's underneath, behind any writing, behind any patterns. So in order to get this kind of effect, this is just a small canvas that I wanted to use as an example. So I just took 3 different colors: Prussian blue, teal, and titanium, unbleached titanium, and just took one of these bad boys and just kind of spread some paint, let it dry, and then put some of the collage papers that I had already made on here. And as you can see the writing, but you can't see the actual paper, because the paper is this kind of paper, this translucent, beautiful paper, which is actually not the same as tissue paper. What this actually is deli paper. Deli paper. I also use rice paper. It's a specific brand of rice paper by Jack Richardson. I think it's Richardson. If it's not, I'm gonna correct that at the bottom of the screen. But that is also translucent when you put it onto a painting, so you can see everything underneath it, and that's the way that I like it. Yeah. Let's get started, and then I will show you an example. All right.
Oh, thank you, Vanna. Spray paint and a stencil. That's the first method on the roster. So this is a French script stencil that I picked up. I actually think I ordered online. And this is Liquitex spray paint, which is kind of a low odor, I cannot say low odor spray paint that you can use inside. So this is one method where I just basically put the stencil on, and there we have it. We have a stenciled piece of collage paper. Next method, Vanna. Okay, archival ink and stamps. So this is a simple, pretty self-explanatory way of getting some nice patterned collage papers. And yeah, look at that. She presses so well. Oh, she's absolutely amazing. Do you know that I actually have the same birthday as Vanna White? This is why I'm so good at that presentation part. So you can do individual stamps, you can do all kinds of stamps. There are just so many things that you can do with this. And I love it because, to be honest with you, my handwriting, not so good. So having stamps and letters, quite helpful. That's a newsprint stamp. They actually sell a lot of these stamps at craft stores, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, and you can do so much with it. Oh, now we have the painting section. Yes, I know. Turquoise paint, that's a brayer that I'm using. You can just put paint directly onto the deli paper, which is really super handy. And you can use a brayer, you can use a paintbrush, you can use a sponge, as you see here. And this creates some different textures, some different patterns. You can put color on it, but it's still going to maintain that translucent paper background so that it doesn't cover everything underneath it up. Oh, so satisfying. The jelly plate. So the jelly plate is really cool because all you have to do is you take paint. I'm using a yellow ochre and a burnt sienna on this, and I'm going to use a brayer. And just spread the paint all over the jelly plate. And yeah, that's I don't know what else I could say about that. I spread it on really thin. I don't use too much paint on the jelly plate because I still want to have some of that transparency with the paper, so I'm not going to spread it all over the jelly plate for this application. You can do that, especially if you're using a different kind of paper and you're kind of creating a color onto a canvas or an art journal. And you can take stamps and it takes some of that paint off. And then you just put your deli paper right over it, press it down, smooth it out, make it all nice, peel it off, and then it transfers onto your deli paper, which is super cool. So then you can just wait for that to dry, and I'll show you how you can layer onto that with one of the applications that you've already seen, which is a stencil and spray paint. So what I'm doing here is I'm just taking some random scrap pieces of paper and I'm putting it over the parts that I don't want the spray paint to go onto. Make sure you shake that can and spray it right on there, and then you will have a layered collage paper. Pretty nifty. Yep, absolutely beauteous. Oh, Vanna, we have a canvas. She looks so happy about it. So I'm going to go with kind of the same color scheme that I've been working with, and I'm going to show you how I just lay on some paint and then cover it with the collage, and how the paper actually just sort of dissolves. Almost looks like it doesn't dissolve, but it looks like it dissolves into the background that's painted. So that's yellow ochre that I put on first, and now I'm using that unbleached titanium and just kind of making a messy, distressed kind of looking background. I'm almost going for this old parchment look with these two colors, and then using the catalyst wedge for the whole entire thing. I'm not even using a brush for it. So this is a little bit of burnt sienna. I'm just rubbing it right on the edge of the catalyst wedge and just putting it onto the corners. I don't want it to be all over the canvas. It's a darker color, so I want there to just be the lighter color in the center of the canvas. So what that does is it moves the eye inward. And after I get all of that on there, the way that I want it, I'm basically just going to let it dry before I am able to put the collage onto it. So now I have the matte medium, and I'm going to just brush it onto the canvas where I'm putting the collage papers on there. And you're just going to basically put the matte medium on, stick your collage paper on there, and cover it again with matte medium again. And after I cover it with the matte medium, then I go in with the catalyst wedge again, because what that does is it actually takes out all of the bubbles and it increases the translucent appearance of the paper, so you can really see everything underneath it. But it's important to get all the bubbles out with that catalyst wedge, because if you're going to be putting anything else on top of it, especially on a canvas, especially if you use oil paint, you don't want to have air bubbles, like these spongy little parts of your painting with air in them. It's not cool. So it's really important to get all those air bubbles out. And just going through, so like I basically, when you lay all of your papers down on the canvas and kind of see where you want them to be, a good rule of thumb is to take a picture of it with your phone so that you see where you had all of your papers, because in order to put your papers back on, you got to take them all off. So what I usually do is I will get them where I want them to be. I'll take a picture with my phone and then use my phone as a reference to where I had all of the collage papers, especially if you're working on a really big piece and you're working with a lot of different collage papers, because it's like, oh, I had them all set up exactly where I wanted them, and now I have no idea where I had them lined up because I had to take them all off. So just to get rid of any confusion there. Oh, so that I didn't show that. Okay, so you can also use like Posca markers, or you can use acrylic markers to write on the deli paper as well. And what I did was I used white and signed my name, because I did want to show that if you use white on the deli paper and you have a darker background, the white handwriting or whatever will show up, and the only thing that I really have good penmanship is my signature. So that's why I did that. And that's what it looks like when it's finished. So that just needs to dry before you do anything else to it.
Okay, so here we have the exact same process to create a mixed media background. This one in a 3-color scheme, this one in a kind of a 4-color scheme because I ended up using the turquoise collage paper that I made on this one. But I didn't film doing this, so I figured that I would film the whole process on a different canvas of what I did with this one, because I really liked how this came out, even though this was just kind of like, oh, you know, throwing paint on a canvas and playing with collage and seeing what happens. And I'm gonna make something with both of these, so stay tuned and we'll see what happens with both of these backgrounds. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative, and I hope you learned how to make transparent collage papers effectively. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button. Please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Hit that notification bell because I'm gonna have a lot more stuff coming your way, and it's almost my favorite time of year, Halloween. So there's gonna be some spooky projects in the works. All right, I love you guys. I will see you next time. Bye.